The cost of saving jobs through trade restrictions is high. The high cost is why Douglas Irwin, an economist at Dartmouth who is one of the leading scholars of U.S. trade, calls tariffs, quote, a really inefficient jobs creation program, end quote. The tariff President Trump imposed in 2018 on washing machines produced in China illustrates how high the cost is. The tariffs increased employment at factories in the U.S. that made washing machines, just as Trump promised. The question is, what is the cost of creating these jobs? Consumers bore the cost because the prices of washing machines sold in the United States increased, regardless of whether they were produced in China or the U.S. Stores that sold washing machines produced in China raised prices to help pay for the higher costs they faced, and firms selling washing machines produced in the U.S. took advantage of the higher prices their rivals were charging. Since prices increased, consumer expenditures on washing machines increased. The increased expenditures on washing machines means that consumers had to cut back on other purchases. Here are estimates from Planet Money of the increase in U.S. employment, the increase in price, the increased expenditures by consumers, and the cost per job created. The tariffs created 1,800 more jobs in the U.S. The tariffs increased the price of washing machines sold in the U.S. by 12%. The tariffs increased consumer expenditures by approximately $1,467 million per year. Therefore, each job created by the tariff cost consumers approximately $815,000 per year. This cost, $815,000, exceeds greatly what the workers earned. President Obama also failed to understand the high cost of using tariffs to increase domestic employment. One study that analyzed Obama's tariffs on Chinese-made tires found that they created about 1,200 jobs at a cost of about $900,000 a year per job. A more efficient way to help workers being hurt by foreign competition may be for the government to impose a small tax on the consumers and use the proceeds to pay the workers not to work. For example, instead of putting a tariff on washing machines produced in China, the government could put a small tax on washing machines sold in the U.S. to collect $360 million and then use the money to pay the 1,800 workers $200,000 each not to work. After the tax, both consumers and the workers would be better off. Consumer expenditures would increase by $360 million instead of $1,467 million, thereby saving them $1,107 million. The workers would be getting higher incomes and would not have to work. Of course, the tax might have to be higher to pay for the administrative costs needed to execute the program. The government would have to determine who wins and who loses, hire more IRS employees, and buy more computers to collect taxes and transfer income, and pay people to create the rules and regulations for the program.